Hello there. My name is Corey, and I am a Star War.
And my name is Corey, and I am a Star War.
And my name is Jim, and I am a Star War.
And we
are a Star War.
And that's Avi.
And that's
She's
Avocado.
also
She had also been a Star War.
She's a
Star War. Today we're gonna talk about the Acolyte episodes 1 through 4. We are on the back porch at Casa de Torres.
We're getting a little work done in Mos Eisley Cantina.
Yeah. AKA Mos Torres.
Yeah, Mos Torres' cantina is out of commission, so we're on the porch.
So you hear birds chirping and dogs frolicking.
And I got to be honest with you, for an Alabama June day,
Could be worse.
it's kind of nice out.
Could be worse. I'm sweaty.
Also,
you're wearing
one of the best Pearl Jam songs.
That's true, and you're also wearing a Jedi robe. You're fully dressed like a Jedi.
We should
may we
mention
ask
that.
why?
Yeah.
You know
because.
Just because it's a Star Wars?
Because it's an audio format,
Yeah.
and no
Might
one
as
can
well.
see it.
Seemed like a good ass thing to do at
Got
the
a
time.
good reaction out of you guys, right?
Yeah, big smile.
Oh, I like it.
I just thought like you had like a secondary thematic reason.
No, I asked
Because
for
like
these
we're gonna
for-
talk
Like he has
about
jury duty.
I put these on the Christmas list that I wanted, and Jamie got them for me. So
that's reason enough to wear
I
them.
will wear them.
But
I mean, I got them to show up here one day and surprise you guys.
Well, we're talking about the Acolyte, which is silly with Jedi, just absolutely silly. Now,
So
is that
I'm taking these off
Piles
before I
of Jedi.
record our next.
he's
episode.
going to record the rest of it naked?
No, I didn't say that.
Okay,
So we are talking about the Acolyte. Jim, you want to give us a brief rundown? Of
I would be
episode
happy
1?
to. According to IMDb, the summary for episode 1, which was called Day, is not good. Racing to the next target, the Jedi head. That's not right.
That's episode 4.
Listen, Linda.
No.
Oh, we're already off to a great start.
Oh, welcome back to We Are a Star War. It's been a couple of months. What we've been doing this whole time is just research, hardcore research on the
a lot
topics
of research.
Yeah,
that we plan to discuss for you.
Okay, here we go. All right, here we go. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
A shocking crime occurs in a distant galaxy, prompting the Jedi Order to hunt for the prime suspect. Not the secondary suspect, not the tertiary suspect, but the prime suspect. A shocking crime occurs.
Awesome. Now, just for the people at home, what was the shocking crime? Because I remember, but you tell me like I don't. Say it like I don't remember it. What is the shocking crime that happened? Somebody gets killed. A
Jedi
They
Jedi
killed
is killed.
Carrie-Ann Moss's Jedi. They
Okay.
rope-a-doped everybody into thinking that Trinity was going to be a Jedi, and then they were like, psych.
They
She
Drew
did.
Barrymore her.
They
and
screamed her. Yep, they screamed her. But yes, so that was the shocking crime that occurred.
That was shocking.
By a force-sensitive, force-wielding person.
Ninja
Yeah.
assassin. Ninja assassin.
So Oshi
Assassin ninja.
gets framed, or not framed, but she gets taken in because she looks a lot like this person, right?
They're like, OSHA did it.
OSHA.
OSHA, that's right. Occupational Safety Hazard
Health
Administration. Okay.
So
And his twin sister's
taken
name
in.
is FEMA.
Sister. You have a twin sister.
So she's taken in because she looks like the murderer, and
Yeah.
she's also force-sensitive.
We don't even need to touch that
former
joke.
Jedi, right?
Yeah, she was a Jedi, but then she quit
Correct.
because she wasn't feeling it.
She was working on like a boat, like as a mechanic.
Now she's a
was
mech neck.
She was taking the job from an R2 unit, or do they not have astro droids?
No, they were saying like, oh, you're not supposed to have mech necks anymore. You're supposed to have droids. Like the droids are the new thing coming in and taking over for the mech necks.
The mech necks.
But she's currently a mech neck.
I've been told she was a mech neck.
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. I only watched the episode once when it came out, so it's been a couple of weeks for me.
Same.
And my first impression was I didn't care for it.
I kind of grouped 1 and 2 together because they were both released.
They
on
did.
the
They
same
dropped.
day, so
They
I-
dropped them together.
Yeah.
I don't remember which scene it was, which episode this scene was in, but my favorite scene was the prison break when she's on the prison ship and the other prisoners on the ship try to convince OSHA to join their little mutiny and to break out. I thought that was a fun scene. That felt like fun Star Wars. And then that one dude is in the jail cell and he's got that weird animal that's slapped over his mouth.
Face sucker.
Yeah, I thought that was neat, but that was it.
That was good. I thought episode 2 was good, where Jason from The Good Place is hiding in that apothecary, and she's trying to get poisoned.
Oh,
she being
shit.
May.
Yeah, remember that?
That's Jason. From
That's
the
Jason.
Good Place.
Yeah, that's
I looked it up
Darth
on-
Bortles.
IMDb.
I didn't laugh at your text because I didn't know. I thought it was just a quarterback joke, and I was like, I don't know what he's talking about.
Bortles!
It's also not my joke.
That's okay. It's
But
your joke to me.
The whole episode, I was like, he's somebody that I'd know. And I couldn't place, and I had to go to.
Is he just going to be the main bad guy also?
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
So
They're
we're
just going to pull that stupid helmet off that guy.
It's
and
either
gonna be
that.
the
I know
same
we're
guy.
jumping around, and we don't have to take this episode by episode because.
no. We're discussing all 4.
I did
Okay.
just screw it up.
No, you didn't. No, it's fine. Trust me.
I only remember 4 things about the show.
And what are those 4
Hey,
things?
Get him. That guy's helmet, I think, had a big smiley on it. Was it a
Yes,
smiley?
it's got like some crooked teeth.
They're twins that don't have a daddy, which I think is like annoying to, we can
'Cause
I feel like we have a virgin birth in this universe already. We should just stick with the one virgin birth, right?
Either that or
He
it
was the
happens
chosen
like,
one.
right? But then there was the one earlier. There was
Yeah.
the chosen earlier.
And like the 6th episode, we're gonna find out that, oh no, that bad guy is your dad. We've already had that's your dad.
Mm-hmm.
We don't.
I think, and honestly, it's not going to be that's your dad. I think it's either going to be Bortles, or it's going to be that's your mom. I think it's
she ain't
going to be one of the mothers is the Sith, is not really the Sith Lord, but is operating with the red saber. That's what I
It
think.
seemed kind of whack that little girl threw a tantrum and the whole coven was dead.
I feel like they're purposefully were withholding shots from that to prolong the mystery, because it really did seem like earlier in the episode when they're showing kind of like how the coven works, and the Jedi may not have shown up yet, but they're kind of showing the way that they're living in this space, and the girls have come back from being out in the woods and they're kind of getting reprimanded for being outside the barrier. There's a shot of that power unit, whatever it is that blew up. There's a shot of it in the background, and it looks like it's malfunctioning, like it was planted, like foreshadowing, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure anybody actually did something wrong. I think there was suspicion on both sides between the witches and the Jedi, and the Jedi certainly aren't helping their cause because they're
spying on kids.
They're spying on kids and stealing kids, which is not a good thing. But I don't know that anybody actually blew up the place on purpose. Maybe May did. I don't know. Maybe I missed it.
I told Corey earlier, before you came out here, that
we don't have to do that every time.
like she literally
But we
was
can't
like,
not.
you know what? I'm gonna burn this motherfucker to the ground.
She did.
And she did it.
Yeah.
People talk about that a lot. I hate my job. I'm
People
gonna
don't follow through.
burn this motherfucker to the ground, but you never see people.
You never see someone
So she
actually
pulled a
burn
Milton.
an entire
She- yeah,
motherfucker
I
to
was
the
about to
She
ground.
say,
pulled a Milton.
Maybe besides
Yeah.
Milton, I burned this place to the ground.
I haven't been receiving my paycheck.
told I would receive a piece of cake.
And then there was no cake. So yeah, I mean, I think she burned it to the ground. Whether or not one of their moms survived, though, like I hadn't thought about that theory. Jason from The Good Place said something in episode 2 where I was like, he shouldn't have said that, because that made him sound like he
But
was
then in episode 4, he's like, you really shouldn't be walking that way. The mission is over this way. Hint, hint.
Yeah, the whole time he's like, the boss man, if
The
he was
boss is
here,
gonna
would
be
tell you
really
to go over
unhappy.
there.
Yeah. I was like, okay, that's a
they're
little
just-
too
they're
on the
just
nose.
him.
And then, okay, wait a minute. He disappears for 5 minutes when she sets a trap. And then all of a sudden, wait a minute, here's this guy in this suit with a red saber.
So I want to.
He looks like a
avocado.
DJ.
What do you think?
In that helmet.
It's James. So I want to pause. I want to pause just for a second, and I want to go back to 2 minutes before the episode 1 started.
The preview for the...
Not the preview.
Oh.
Not the Disney Plus lineup, but like our expectations. My expectation for this when they first announced the title and the subject matter was misaligned. I was expecting something in the same tone as Andor that was possibly a little darker, that might have been the Disney Star Wars version of a David Fincher story, like of Seven, right? Like I thought it was going to be a straight up murder mystery.
Ooh.
So
It's not that.
it's not that at all.
Woo.
It is a cartoon.
It is
It is 100% a live action cartoon made for 10-year-olds.
It is. I saw the Clone Wars. I can make you some of those.
Yep.
You can clone some Clone Wars.
I can clone that Clone War.
I made a copy. See?
Yeah, I don't know what I expected. I like the show. That's not a dig at the show. I like it. I've got a couple of problems with it, but I don't know that I knew, because I didn't know until a week or two ago when we were talking that the High Republic it's a line of like young adult books, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't know that. I just thought they were just
I mean, let's be
Star
honest,
Wars
guys.
all of them are.
Most of Star Wars is for
Yeah. Okay. That
it's
sounds a little weird.
What?
it's not written for 48-year-olds.
What?
But still, like, it's kind of a weird show, right? What's your favorite part about it, Corey Martin, so far?
Let's just dig into some of the controversies and the things that people have been complaining about. First
Wait,
of all, people are
hold on.
saying this is the woke. It's bullshit. It's
Before
woke.
we get into what other people are complaining about it, I want to hear one thing that you like about it.
One thing that I
One
like
thing
about
that you
it.
like about it. One thing that you don't like about it. And same for you, Sideburns.
The opening credits, when it's like a crescent moon,
Uh-huh.
and then that turns into the an Acolyte, and that's how Andor started too. It was like that was the D was like a thing.
Right?
Is that like all their shows have like the same?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Did Book of Boba Fett have like a little thing, and then it turned into Boba?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I don't remember. So are you saying,
that counts
are you
as
saying
one.
the one thing that
That's
you like
one.
is the title treatment for the show?
I love seeing yeah.
Okay. Corey Hanna, what's the one thing you like about the show? Or give me one thing that you like about the show.
The obvious is that it's a Star War, and I like it because it's a Star War, but we won't say that. But I just did with my mouth hole. I just like there's a bunch of fucking Jedi on screen. I like seeing a bunch of fucking Jedi on screen.
Many
It's
Jedi.
awesome. Yeah.
There are a lot of Jedi. I like Saul. Saul, however you say it. Better Call Saul. He's fun. I like him.
I like this character.
Is he's not the one with the good hair that took his shirt off?
No,
No,
that's
that's-
Saved by the Bell.
Yard.
Yeah.
The shit ain't that yard. All right, what's one thing that you don't like about it?
I can already this might be just my stupid brain, but now when I'm watching these shows, I can feel the formula and I can feel things falling into it. And so I'd watched the first 2 episodes like 3 times because I couldn't bring myself to put my phone down. I just couldn't get locked in, and I think it's because I know that most of what happens in the first 3 episodes of these shows is worthless.
Doesn't matter.
It's all going to be red herrings, and they're going to be like, "Oh, this was really the bad guy," so I'm just going to fucking wait till we get there.
They've literally done 180 degrees on the 2 main characters by episode 4.
Right.
Like the thing that I was most surprised by in episode 4 wasn't that they killed the Wookiee Jedi off camera, which was lame.
Mm-hmm.
Was that May is like, I'm a good person. I've always been a good person. I'm a good angel, and I don't want to be bad anymore. And we're not going to do this. And the evil master can just go be bad somewhere else
That was
on
a
her
little
own time.
quick, right?
That was like I got whiplash watching that shit happen. What's one thing you don't like about it?
We kind of discussed earlier, but
When?
some of the set pieces look fake as hell, and I don't know. Maybe their budget was not big.
It
but
was big.
That was the Jedi that took the poison. Torin?
Yes, I think it was torn.
Master Torin. His beard looks so fucking fake, and then the last thing is
His beard looked about as convincing as Obi-Wan Kenobi's beard in Attack of the Clones.
Well, maybe a little worse.
A little worse.
And the last thing is what you said was we get a Wookiee Jedi, a grown Wookiee Jedi. We got a Wookiee Jedi and a couple of Clone Wars or Rebels. One, two. All these Jedi that are teased, and like I knew the story was about people getting killed, but I was like, can we have this Wookiee Jedi on screen for more than 3 minutes? But they did the same shit with Carrie and Moss.
And that's, the fact that they're billing that as the shocking thing, it's in the fucking trailer,
Yeah.
right? Like, someone's killing Jedi. Well,
And here
Is
go all
it
these
seven Jedi
Jedis.
that we never meet off camera? That, you know, we just happen to show up in a cantina somewhere on Mos Plupla?
I would have preferred
And they're dead
that
on the ground?
to just little tease with the Wookiee Jedi.
But she got to come back in like flashbacks and
Right.
stuff.
So far,
I
one
think we're going to
episode,
see
yep.
her more. I think they might be cutting back and forth all through the show. There might be more.
We're halfway through, and
we just found the first guy with a red lightsaber.
and so now there's one person. There's one of the four left.
That's the thing. His mask is stupid and shitty.
he looks like a DJ.
Oh, I like it.
No, I hate it. It looks like a bad wrestling luchador mask with the
Now I
shit
like it
smile.
even more. Is
It looks like something I could make.
you could make something better than that?
That's not me saying you can make it.
Did you
Yeah.
guys get that?
Corey could really make it a lot better.
He could.
Yeah.
He's
He's
been known to make a mask.
I didn't know what was bothering
I'm
me
working
about
on a
it.
life-size matrix of leadership.
I didn't know.
It's as big as a Chevy van.
I didn't know what was bothering me about it, but it is the smile. Like something was just registering.
Yeah, because
With me as
you don't
being
see it
weird.
at first,
Well,
and then
it's
like
kind of like the Venom grin. You
I
know,
think it was like when he went when it was like the red light from his saber was hitting his face and it like lit up, kind of like big smile. And I was like, oh, that's goofy. I don't know about that. I don't know. Might turn out to be great. I thought Kylo looked stupid at first, but I like his
yeah.
drip.
It
now.
doesn't bother me. I like it.
Elite drip.
The one thing that I don't like, the overarching one thing that I don't like about the show so far is exactly what I said to you guys I wasn't going to like about it, is that it's just a string along. There's no like the third episode had a little bit of a story because it was kind of a bottle episode with
Yeah.
it being
Like the
focused on the
origin
kids
kind
and
of
a little
thing.
origin thing. And the third episode was my favorite of the four so far because it told a story. The rest of them are just setups to a cliffhanger, and last night's episode is literally nothing but leading to that cliffhanger. Like the Sith Lord, if it's even a Sith Lord, ignites its red lightsaber, and then and then they cut to the credits.
Can I get you guys to explain some things to me?
Bring it.
So this is 100 years before Phantom Menace,
Phantom.
right?
Phantom.
And at the time of Phantom Menace, they were like, "Hey, there's a Sith," and they were like, "There hadn't been a Sith in 1,000 years.
Sith, please.
There ain't no Siths, right?" So now we're going back 100 years to find Siths.
Well, and they did make a point in the episode last
That's
night
like a
to say we're not
Wonder
going
Woman
to tell
84 problem.
we're not going to tell the Jedi Council. We can do this on our own.
When they said that, I was like, "Because you don't want to show Yoda yet. You're saving that for the 8th
But they
episode."
show Al Falmundi, who apparently he was,
Forehead.
the old forehead.
But now he has hair on the back of it. Did he always have hair on the back of it?
I don't
Yeah,
think so. Did
he
he?
had a mullet back
I thought
then.
it was all a big cone.
No,
skullet,
he
but
had
now
a
it's got-
skullet
He's
back
got
in the
like
High
4
Republic.
ponytails on the back of it. I love that.
No, he's got some style.
I didn't know if that was the same guy I'd ever seen before.
George
But he's the
Carlin.
one that says we haven't seen the Sith for 1,000 years in the Phantom Menace.
Phantom.
And he's literally right there when they're
Looking at
talking
Siths.
about the Sith.
Maybe we got a fake ass Sith Lord.
I'm telling you, it's either Bortles or it's one of the moms. And it's
There was a lot of things last night where I was like, Bortles know a little too much about what's happening.
yes.
This is the guy, or either he's like closer. I don't know.
So
I don't
when
know
they-
how it's not him.
So when they pulled out that red saber, all the Jedi were they all like, "Oh shit! No one's had a red lightsaber in 1,000 years because there's no baddies left because we're so good at this."
But they're not.
Yeah, that's something else.
Right. I want to talk about that, but yeah.
But anyway, where are we at now? Back to the woke.
Yeah. So I think we covered, but we each said one thing that we like, one thing that we don't like.
Yeah,
We clearly have a lot more that we don't like, but let's get to the wokety woke and the woke.
yeah. I don't think anybody can ever do anything now without people being like,
Right.
"Why is there a woman? This is woke." Like they're just so mad for nothing.
Yeah.
Fuck those people.
Like I kept waiting
Fuck them.
for something to happen on this show where they come out and they're like, "As long as there's no white men, because I hate white men, they're the worst." But they haven't said that.
No.
So I don't think the
I
white
think there's some
dudes
people
can
mad
calm
because
down.
there's the interview with the actress, And from like 4 or 5 years ago, before she was a Star Wars, she was in The Hate You Give, which was a massive selling book. And apparently in a press interview somewhere along the line, she said, yeah, we want to make white people cry. So that's the clip that's been circulating, and they're like,
You mean somebody got quoted out of context, it got twisted, blown up, lied, and made into a controversy online over nothing to promote a show by a marketing department?
If
and
she
then
wants-
the corresponding bots on the other side of the argument? Color
If she
me
wants
shark.
to make white people cry, then she's done it. Because some of them are out there crying, and all she did was put a black lady on TV. Like, there's never been a black lady on TV before. Like, there's never been a black lady in Star Wars. Like, there hasn't been Lizzo in Star Wars before.
Right.
Like,
That's all bullshit.
it's all wide
and
open. Anybody
also
can be in there.
It's the tiniest bit of nobody that so much of that is being, I think, propagated by bots, which is, it's not real. Yeah, sure. There are probably some people out there, and they're wrong, that feel that way. But all of the genuine angst and conversation, I bet 95% of the things that are engaging in those kinds of comments online and you know, posting on any social media platform, it's fucking fake. It's not real people. My complaint with the show has nothing to do with the diversity of the cast. I was expecting something a little more mature in its format, and the more I've kind of come around to the fact that this is a cartoon, it was really obvious in episode 4 because the set looked like Fraggle Rock.
what was going on in one scene where there was like fire raining down, and it was like it was like coming down in these little twirls?
that's when their temple was.
And when their temple was burning, and they were like running away from it, I was like, "What is that?"
I do have a question about
Nintendo 64 back there.
I do have a question about that the temple burning scene, because the one thing that I've read that at least seemed like it was coming from a human about that particular episode was that there's more to what happened that night than what we've been shown, and that the witches likely did engage in a fight with a Jedi, and this person's reasoning for that was that the way they show the bodies in that wide shot, they've been kind of placed. It's not like they just fell dead.
Right.
They've been like they were killed somewhere else and kind of gathered and placed somewhere. I mean, I don't know that I agree with that, but what do you guys think about that? Did the Jedi go in there and mow these witches down,
Like a My Lai massacre.
or
For the Jedi?
have they been blamed for something else?
Yeah, I'm thinking. I mean, looking back at it, that makes sense. Like the witches probably started it. The Jedi would just finished it, right?
I mean, I could see that if that's how it went down. If the witches started it, you
But
know.
here's the thing, though: is why do they feel so much guilt 16 years later? The Jedi.
Well,
That ain't the first time Jedi have killed a room full of people.
no.
Or stolen babies.
So it just makes me wonder, like, you know, who knows? I mean, like, why are they guilty if they did? We're led to believe that they started it in some way.
So, like, the Wookiee goes off and lives in the woods somewhere by himself. Is that like
Kel
him?
Neka.
Is that him being all like sad and
I think that was the thing. Was
what did
that
we do? We shouldn't have done that. I
Yeah.
don't want to be a Jedi anymore.
Kind of like
the man
old fake beard
taking the vow, of
sitting
silence.
in the meditation bubble.
Like Cain in the Kung Fu, walking the earth.
Which, by the way, if you're a Jedi and you did some bad shit and you feel bad about it, and then you get an assignment and you're like, you're stationed at Jedi Temple, Zanzibar, and you're one of the Jedis at this post.
Yeah.
And then you spend your entire post in the bubble, that's like 2 wrongs not making it right. You're shirking your responsibility, sir.
Yeah, I mean,
Go Jedi.
Master Soul is there at the school, still teaching. Carrie Ann Moss was chilling at a bar.
She was just drinking. That's how come she got took.
She didn't stay sharp.
No. She got the sharp end of the knife. Hey-o.
Hey.
Heyo.
Boy, people on the internet. Oh.
Goodness.
Oh, a lightsaber in the stomach won't kill you, but a 3-inch blade in the heart will? A Jedi?
Yes, motherfucker. You take a 3-inch blade to the heart and tell me how you're feeling at the end of the day.
Can we bring that character back? That was my favorite character.
They'll be back with robot legs.
She'll be back with a robot heart.
My problem this is a thing I've never done, and I texted you guys because sometimes I would like see content that would come across my feed or whatever, but I specifically got on TikTok and was like Acolyte 3 or Acolyte episode 3 last week, and I was like, oh, this is the biggest mistake I've ever made in my life.
Did you do that before you watched it or after?
After. Because I watched it like within a couple minutes of when it was on. But the funny thing is like there's a lot of people out there defending it, but for the people that are defending it, there's 3 people shitting on it.
Yeah.
So the part that was most controversial, and even you had to say something about it, about episode 3, about the 2 witches conceiving a baby. There's nothing in that episode that says they used midichlorians to make a baby. They just said, I did this and you carried it.
She said, I carried this, and then she said, I created her. And then she says, and you don't want them to find out how you did it.
Right.
And I was like, just fucking say it. Why do we have... Now it's 6 episodes later.
I mean, for all we know, she had a bad night, and Moss Turtle found a feller that she was just in that moment, there was a good jizz song on, and things happened. 1 blue milk led to 2 blue milks. Next thing you know, it was a rough night.
The suns are going down.
Right. It was romantic. I figured, why not? I'll try it once. Right?
Yeah.
And then,
once you go Snorak, you never go back.
You never go back. But because she's a human, or humanoid, she couldn't carry a Snorak to term.
Right.
And so she has to give her lover and her life mate, who's a different species, who's stronger, from Dathomir.
And that
she
man, somehow, Shiv Palpatine. There it was him. That was where he came from.
7-year-old Shiv Palpatine walked up to her in a bar and said, "Are you an angel?"
Somehow, did I actually send the video to you guys the other night?
Yeah.
of the TV. I just happened to be sitting there
somehow,
and it flipped the channel and Star Wars was on. Somehow, Palpatine's returned. I feel like I have to snapshot it every time I just run across it.
I do think that there's a strong argument for Jason Mendoza to be at least the apprentice, the true Sith apprentice, if not the Sith Lord. Because Lucas set up the precedent with what he wanted to do with Jar Jar, right? He wanted Jar Jar to have been the goofy misdirect. Nobody would suspect that this guy was working with a Sith Lord to bring about a massive downfall of the Jedi and blah, 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 right? And when we all hated Jar Jar so much so that Ahmed Best had to go to therapy because Star Wars fans suck.
Look, blame that on George Lucas.
I'm going to blame it on him too. No, I'm going to blame it on the fans. I'm not blaming it on Ahmed Best. He did a hell of a job.
Yeah, that's not his fault.
But what I'm saying is there was an arc there that was not fulfilled. Right? I think they're putting it in this show with the doofus and the buffoon as the misdirect, but it's really not that effective or that covert, because in episode 4 we're like, you're the bad guy.
Things go over my head
because there's only like 3 characters, so I'm like, well, it's either you or somebody we haven't met yet. Why would we have you if it's not you? If he's not the Sith or the apprentice, then he's they're like PA. He's like I'm the Sith's.
He's their nurse practitioner.
I'm the Sith Lords. Yeah.
My problem is like subtle things go over my head, and
he can't write prescriptions.
Twists always get me. Like I never see them coming. Right.
Yeah.
And on this one, unless they're just trying to beat you over the head with it, it's pretty obvious it's him.
Yeah.
So unless this is
the twist is it's not him.
Yeah. That's the only thing I don't.
This show hasn't been that subtle.
The dog got my microphone.
That's a Beastie Boy song, isn't it?
Probably. If it's not him, then they've got me.
Then I think it's the mom. I think it's one of the mothers.
Yeah, it could be.
Unless she was in the pile of bodies at the end, and I just don't remember that.
It was only when he saw it for a half second. Like you said.
So, Corey Martin, who's your favorite character?
Zoloft.
You sure it's not Paxil?
Was Paxil the little sniffer dog?
No, that's Basil.
Ooh. Yeah, that
Basil,
was a fun character.
That was fun.
That
was pure Star Wars.
He can smell things because he's a rodent,
and he yells.
That makes sense. And then when he finds it, he screams. I love that guy.
I like that guy.
Thanks. Yes. If I have any problems with the color and shape of the characters is that they're all humans. And there's like one person where they're like, let's make this one just green. Oh, do you want to have like just green and like shave her head green. Cool. She's an alien. Just from the planet of green humans that look just like us. That's all I'm saying. There should be more slugs.
Did you answer your
He said Basil is his favorite.
Paxel.
Yeah.
He will henceforth be known as Paxel.
Paxel.
Yeah.
The rodent tracker. How about you, Hannah? Who's your favorite
How about
character?
your sideburns? Favorite character? I like Master Soul a lot.
Same.
That's your answer?
Yes.
Final answer?
Are you finished?
We need to pause it.
Oh.
Let's take a quick break.
Oh, commercial. We have commercials. Do a commercial.
Oh, we're going to do a commercial on this one?
Yeah,
We'll
let's
be
do
back.
a quick break.
We'll be
Bye,
back.
Felicia.
Sunday. If you're on Tatooine, get your hut down to Mos Espa Pod Race Circuit. We've got Sebulba, Young Skywalker, pit droids, non-stop action. Will pesky Tusken Raiders murder your favorite pod racer? Will a Jedi cheat you out of your favorite slave? You'll find out this and more on Sunday.
Pod race.
And we're back.
And we're back.
And we're back.
We had a quick break.
We're Star Wars. All of us are.
We are.
Each and every one of us.
But let's get back into it. The TikTok. We were in the break. We were talking about TikTokers and their takes on it, and this, that, and the other. And I think it was one I sent to you guys in the group chat that you wanted to talk about.
Yeah. There's a guy that brought up something that I thought about this a lot in the prequel movies, particularly where it's like, I've always wondered, are we supposed to think the Jedi are incompetent? Or did George Lucas just write them making mistakes and it just kind of looks like they're incompetent now in hindsight? Because that's kind of become the narrative.
Right.
Is that this whole saga is about how stupid the Jedi always were. And so then it was like, oh, we're going to get this show and it's 100 years before and it's in the Republic and everything's great. And then you go back and they're like, oh, the Jedi are a bunch of like corrupt people that come and steal babies and they're kind of assholes and people don't like them. So
The dogs almost pulled the mic out of your hand.
the dogs want to talk.
They almost got mine earlier.
So like the point, I guess, is like, is there ever a time where it's just like, hey, the Jedi are like this force for good and it works and they're good at it and it's great.
And I guess to quote Obi-Wan Kenobi, from a certain point of view, what's good, right? Mm-hmm. So like the witches in episode 3, they're not the Night Sisters, or at least they're not confirmed to be the Night Sisters, but they are a coven of witches, right? That clearly have magics, which are their version of the Force or their relationship with the Force, and it's their own culture wrapped around it, right? Like,
I do have kind of a hot take about that.
bring it.
The thread and shit.
Yeah.
I kind of dig. It was basically, it's a completely separate religion, if you will. If the Force
It's
is
like Methodist versus Baptist.
right, it's like we all are touching parts of the same elephant thing, where it's they believe in the Force.
You mean midichlorians
but
and the
to
wills.
them, they think it's threads that pull us all together, and you can use the threads to pull this and that.
Pull the string.
Pull
Yeah.
my finger.
Yeah. And the Force, before we were just like, well, no, we all have tiny bugs in our blood.
But it's kind of still the same thing, though.
But there was a blood test in this show, so
There
they're
was a blood
obviously
test. It's kind of the same thing.
They are into
It's
it.
a different version of the one they did in one of the prequels.
right.
That was something I saw in.
Yeah, so they're still looking for midichlorian counts when they're looking at Force-sensitive children to abduct.
Mm-hmm.
But I dug the idea that, well, the Force is out there and it's a real thing that people can feel, and everyone's not going to interpret that to be the same exact "May the Force be with you"
Right.
set of dogmas.
May the thread be with you.
Yeah.
I think they
There should
missed
be
an opportunity to put a Weezer song in there in that episode,
If
right?
you want to destroy
Thank you.
the
my sweater.
Acolyte, oh, whoa, whoa, whoa.
No?
Pull this Jedi as I
walk away.
walk away.
See me unravel. I'll soon be naked.
Lying on the floor. Lying on the floor.
I've come undone.
Sorry, guys. It turns
Holy
out that these
did you
two...
hear that?
It turns out that these two are, in fact, the Lord of the Rings.
Turns out this is the last podcast we're doing
I'm leaving
because
that
we're
shit
going
in.
on the road.
You guys are going to hit the road?
Did you hear those pipes?
Hell yeah.
Unbelievable.
You guys have the
Unbelievable.
force.
Nah, I got 3 beers in me is what I
Ooh,
got.
There we go.
it felt like someone pulled my thread.
I want to play this because we spend a lot of time talking about wokeness and stuff and people's interpretations of things. I sent this to you guys the other night. And it's on TikTok. It says, if Star Wars fans in 1983 behaved like Star Wars fans in 2024,
Oh, yeah.
hashtag, or the user's name is StandOutSteel. Look that up. It's funny as shit. He's like, a woman killed Jabba the Hutt and stuff, stuff like that. It's real funny. So look that up when you get a chance. I would try to play it, but I'm afraid I might fuck it up right now. So what else do you guys want to talk about? We've got like a little bit left.
So we're halfway through the season. Do we know if it was always intended to be multiple seasons, or is this a limited series kind of thing?
I was under the impression it was a one and done.
So they got 4 episodes to kill Saul because he's the last of the 4
Yep.
that apparently did wrong. And
then what?
yeah.
What happens if you kill all 4? Somebody just...
Well, I mean, he's gonna die because of what he said last night. He's like, "No, I'm gonna do this thing no matter what it takes." I'm like, okay, he's gonna Qui-Gon Jinn his ass, and he's gonna die, and he's gonna sacrifice himself to save both the daughters or both the sisters, and okay.
So
Which
they can-
Corey pointed out before we were recording that one of them is a witch. One of them missed it by this much.
Yeah, they were like, she reached in the sky and was like, I'm going to pull down the blue thing on your... Oh, my God. Who's at the door? It's the Jedi here to give you a test and change your life.
A stamp on your forehead.
Like it happened right then.
I do have a question about that episode. Who were the witches hiding from? Was it the
Just
Jedi?
people.
Or was it just,
They were afraid
other
that people were going
factions?
to come get their kids, is what I thought, right?
Well, I mean,
Because-
that'd be the Jedi then, but
Yeah, but because they were on differing sides of...
I mean, that says something. If you've got whole communities that are living in fear and creating, subterfuge to keep their children from the view of the Republic, I mean, that's not a hard door to want to push down in terms of that's wrong.
So it's kind of like a Waco situation. And it also burnt down.
It did
and
burn
killed
down.
all of them.
They did have a David Koresh in there.
I'll be damned. We solved it. It's Waco. So that means John Leguizamo is going to be the good guy at the end of this.
Oh my God, is John Leguizamo the guy wearing the smiley mask?
Fuck yes, he is.
But is it John
That's why he was only
Leguizamo
3.5
as the
feet
clown
tall.
from Spawn?
Probably not.
No.
I really wanted to do an imitation of him, but I forgot what his clown sounded like.
Quite all right.
It's not a good movie. And it's
Yeah, it's not.
30 years ago.
And Todd McFarlane is not letting that die. He is going to make
He is
another
convinced
movie.
he's making another movie.
He is, at this point, he could just use AI to make it.
I mean,
Who'd have thought that at any point in our lives, Rob Liefeld would have more box office panache
well,
than Todd?
they marketed Deadpool a certain way.
That's true.
They did.
They got it right.
They sure did.
If you've read the comics ever.
That's the only movie I care about this year.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Star Wars?
Oh, I mean, and Star Wars. I like Star
We
Wars.
don't have a Star Wars movie this year, though. When do we get a Star
No.
Wars movie? What's the next movie?
The Rey movie is the next one to be theatrically released. And then The
They haven't
Mandalorian.
even written it. They
Apparently,
just said they're going to do it.
Apparently, the script is written.
I don't know.
She was on the Smartless podcast recently, and it's actually a really fun interview to listen to. And the only bit of Star Wars info that she was willing to mention was that she's supposed to be reading the script soon, and that she has to go somewhere to read the script.
Vatican City.
Vatican City. Yeah, the Pope wrote the script. It's going to be the wokest Star Wars ever.
Sent up the smoke signal when he was done.
Right.
Oh my god.
It is writ.
Woo!
All right, so do we have any boilerplate to take us out of this beautiful episode of the Acolyte Summary
Corey,
1
say all
through
that
4?
stuff. Say all that stuff, Corey.
What stuff?
We got
Join us on our
the
Alabama
stuff.
Pod
Yeah.
Network,
I thought you
Alabama
meant
Slam,
I was supposed to
Alabama
say something else
Slam,
about Acolyte.
Alabama
Slam.
Slam Network.
Yeah, join our network of fellow podcasters. Follow us online at thealabamatake.com and on pretty much all social media. Blaine Duncan runs the social media for our network. And there's a bunch of podcasts over there each week. Wrestling podcasts, book podcasts, sports podcasts. Corey, you don't want to...
That's all of them.
That's all of them.
We named them
TV
all.
podcasts. There's one more that can't be mentioned on there. It's in line with our sex episode.
Look,
this
we got a sex
podcast.
episode coming in this pod, but it's not yet.
Down the
We're
line.
not ready
People need
for
to
it.
know that there is a
Sex in the
lot.
Star
There's a
Wars.
lot of meat on that bone.
As it were.
There's a lot of sex in Star Wars, and we're going to talk about it.
I think we're
not next
done.
time. Not next
Not
time.
next time, but
soon.
in the future.
Yeah, so
And
follow us.
do we have T-shirts? Where can people get T-shirts?
T-shirts
And
at
we've got new stickers, don't we?
T-shirts, stickers. There's new designs. Shout out Stevie G.
Stevie G.
Your boy Stevie G. He's doing our graphics for social media and stuff now. And he's got a few new T-shirts and sticker designs on tpublic.com. You can search for that
I
via
suggest
the
you get a
Alabama
beach
Take
towel.
store. Do they have beach towels?
I looked. They
Y'all
don't. I
kept
really
ta-
did. I
Yeah.
looked.
Y'all
I
kept
was
talking
totally
about
going to
mouse
order
pads.
beach towels.
Mouse pads.
He was going to get you a mouse pad for real, and they don't have mouse pads.
They don't have mouse pads.
That's some bullshit.
Sorry, I interrupted the boilerplate. Take it
that's
away. Go.
That's it. I didn't know what you meant by boilerplate, so have that broadcast journalism.
Yes, have some.
And on that note, we're done. Follow us on Instagram and Threads at We Are a Star War.
Star Wars.
We have college degrees.